So here in Moodle, we're going to have a look at how we make a basic quiz, but then create our questions in a text document that is really easy to upload. So this is just basic multiple choice questions or true or false questions that we'll be importing and making sure that we import into a category that makes these questions easy to manage. So I'm going to come to Moodle and I've got my editing turned on so I can add an activity or resource. We'll click here and we are going to grab the quiz activity. We'll call this quiz 3, and I'm going to leave all these options unchanged. We'll just go to save and display. And then once we're in here, we are going to come across the options at the top right here underneath the gear icon. We'll scroll down to the question bank, and you can see we've got a few different options here for questions, categories, importing and exporting. And here we're going to import our questions. Now, I've got some questions already set up in TextEdit. These are in the text format, so just the plain text format, which you can create here on the Mac in TextEdit, or if you're working on the PC, you can do that in Notepad, or you can create a Word document that you would save off as a .txt file or a text file. So you can see here, very simple kind of question layout, and we have the question itself with no number, so you leave the numbers off your questions in this case. And then where we have our answer options here, we have the letter with a bracket just to the right of it, and then a space in the answer. And then we have the answer here, word answer in capitals, and then the answer after that. So basically you can see C is the answer for this question. And then this is just repeated for the subsequent question. So the question, the options with the brackets, and then the answer in capitals with a capital A, B, C, D, or E. So the other main option that we have here in this format is a true or false question, which essentially is, in this case, just another multiple choice question, but only with two options, A being true and B being false. So you can see all these questions are in essentially the same format. So we'll come to our Moodle again, and we'll come to the AIKEN format for the file format. Under General, we're going to select the default for quiz 3, which will be up at the top of your list. So it's going to put those into that question category, and then we can choose the file. So I've got this saved on my desktop here, and we can then select that and click upload, and then upload this file, click at the bottom here, and then once everything is ready there, we're going to click import. So you can see the green here is good. It means that I'm importing 11 questions from this file. You can see a list of the questions, but not the answers in this case. We'll click continue, and then you can see we're looking at the category default for quiz 3. We're still in quiz 3 here. So if we scroll down, you can see we've got some options for selecting these questions, creating a new question within this category, and then also moving our questions to another category if we want to, or deleting our question. So we could highlight a question and move it or delete it. We're going to uncheck that, and we're going to come back to quiz 3. And we're going to go into edit quiz. Now in here on the right, we'll have no questions yet, but we'll click this add option where we can add from a question bank. And once we click this, we're going to scroll up to that default for quiz 3, where we can see those 11 questions that we just uploaded. We can select them all or select a selection of these. By selecting or deselecting those questions, we'll have all 11 questions, and once we're there, we can click Add Questions to the quiz. So if we scroll down, you can see our quiz is there. If we come back to the quiz 3 page, you can see now we've got the option to attempt the quiz, so the quiz is essentially available to us. We can preview our quiz here, and so we can just run through in the preview and click Next Page to check all these questions, or we can click on the question links up here at the top right. And then obviously within your quiz, you'll want to come into the basic edit settings here. So there are two options for editing a quiz. One is the edit settings, and one is edit quiz, where you'll edit the questions. So the edit settings would contain things like the timing for the quiz and the grade that you'll get for that quiz and that type of thing. So you can see we can drop these down. We can have a look at the timing and the grade, which would be the most important things. This quiz is just open at the moment for anyone to try out. We can have it as uncategorized or categorized, and then we can also have an unlimited or a limited number of attempts. So in this case, the quiz is an unlimited number of attempts, so students could keep coming and redoing this quiz. And if we save and display, we'll come back to the quiz page. And then the other important piece here when we're working with quizzes is that we have a look at our grades and check that our gradebook setup is set up correctly so that the quiz is applying the correct weighting within the course. So you can see when you add a new item, often it will have this 1 for the weighting. So you can see I've got a quiz that I was deleting earlier that obviously I don't need to worry about that. But if I wanted this as just a fun quiz for in class, where I don't want students to worry about getting the grade, it's just a learning quiz, I might set that to 0, save the changes, scroll down, and then also for things like this quiz or the course orientation quiz where I have a grade of 0 applied, I might also add a category of ungraded items. And if I save the changes here, we can scroll down, I can select my course orientation quiz and quiz 3, and I'm going to move those to these ungraded items. And the nice thing here is once that's created, this category, I can hide this. So what this means is that if I come to my user report, and I'll view this as a student, then I'm going to see all these items, including the ungraded items that aren't actually forming part of the grade in the course. So that could be a little bit unclear, or you might just have a lot of content there that you want to hide from the student's actual grade report. So if we scroll up here, we'll come back to gradebook setup. What we can do with these ungraded items is click on edit and hide. And essentially with this now, we can hide those ungraded items. That means when a student comes and looks at their user report, then we can view it as a student and they won't see those ungraded items. They'll just see the assignments that are important for this particular class where the grades are assigned. So this is a useful way of making sure that you get that kind of clear information out to students and that the grades that they're seeing within those grader reports are things that are useful to them. So hopefully this is a useful overview of how to import quiz questions, and then also a couple of other things to think about when you're actually adding your quizzes into Moodle. If you have any questions, then please do leave them below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you on the next video.